Told you, Miss Carter.
So growing up, you know, I told y'all, my mom growing up, you know, she used to do coke and weed and used to drink and smoke cigarettes, and she was just like, she used to hustle. I remember my mom taking me to Harlem, and I didn't understand what Harlem was at the time. I didn't understand why she would make me sit in the car for hours while she went in this downstairs basement and came back out with bags. But my mom was the weed dealer, and she'd go see her connect in Harlem, and she, you know, sell work. And you know, this was my family business. My mom sold drugs, my grandfather sold drugs, my biological father sold drugs, my stepfather sold drugs, my uncle sold drugs. And so, you know, I remember taking those trips to New York when I was young, and remember seeing my mom, you know, smoking joints in the car and rolling up. I even remember my cousin and I grabbing some parsley out of the pizzeria and putting the parsley in some foil and telling my mom was from one of our other aunts. And they actually smoked that parsley, or at least tried to. And when they found out it wasn't weed, we got our ass whipped for that. But you know, this is just the kind of stuff in the environment in which we come from. But the bigger point is that I'm so proud of my mother, I want to say, because somewhere around the time I probably was 9 or 10, you know, she come from just for real being just, I don't even know how, the best way to put it, she was just ghetto. She was just, you know, she was just hood. She was a, you know, kind of a gangster. And, you know, I remember even when she told me that when I was young, when the cops raided our apartment, she put all the drugs in a baby blanket with me and walked past the cops. They let us out the apartment. And so, you know, she dated a gangster. I told you my stepfather was a true G, a true gangster. He did, you know, over 13 years in prison, and ain't nobody want no problems with him nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He was known for a good knockout. But anyway, I'm so proud of my mother for, you know, in my later years, she found God, she found Christ, and she found something that was bigger than her that she could believe in, and she dropped all her bad habits. Just not the doing drugs or selling drugs. She dropped cursing, she dropped drinking. She dropped legal things that you typically didn't have to do to be Christian per se, but she just dropped everything and really, really bought into church and religion and God. I'm not a big religious guy, and I'm really trying to wean my family off religion, because I believe that God is just God. God don't have no religion. God didn't choose no religion. God didn't make no religion. That's what we made. But nevertheless, I'm glad that my mom found something that changed her, which changed the culture within my family, and seeing her grow into be the woman that she was. And she actually went back to college, and actually not only did she go back to college, because she never went to college. She went to college for the first time and got her associate's degree. But while she was in junior college at like 30, I want to say maybe my mom was like 30 something, early 40s, mid 40s, played basketball while she was in college. This is like when I'm like, you know, older at that point, but just seeing the transition of my mom and how she just never stopped striving to be a better her. And, you know, even though we grew up in six of us, well, first it was just my mom and myself in my grandmother's one bedroom, twin size bed, one bedroom house, my grandmother's house. Then it was my mom, my younger sister, and myself, all three of us sleeping in a twin size bed at my grandmother's house. Then it was the family grew, and I was living in a 2-bedroom with 6 of us. And then my mom got a 3-bedroom for all 6 of us. So she constantly progressed, and my mom always had on her mind that she wanted to own a house one day. And she tried to get one property through a HUD program, and a realtor got over on her and jerked her out of some money. And then we end up finally one day getting a house. But my mom always, and my mom's name is Lori Morrison. I call her Lolo. That was her street name, Lolo. And so that's what we're going to call this track. I'm changing the track title in the middle of the track. We're calling this track Lolo. But my mom, Lolo, she always strived for more, and she never settled with our circumstance. No matter what we had, no matter what she had to do to get us to the next level, she buckled down and worked 2 and 3 jobs. She babysat. She did whatever she had to do to get us to the next level. And it's her spirit of outworking the work that has rubbed off on me, in the fact of like what I teach you guys is my 4 E's: to evaluate, eliminate, evolve, and execute. That we need to evaluate our lives daily. We need to eliminate all of our bad habits. Then we evolve to the better us. and then we execute on that evolution and on these new habits. And so I believe it's those characteristics that I learned from Lo. And she made me. Although we went through a lot together, we struggled a lot together, I've seen her cry, and not just cry from other people, but cry over me and my experiences, and going to prison and seeing her oldest son go down the wrong path. But I've seen her bounce back every trip and remain so strong. And I want to shout out to Lola. You are the true definition of someone who's willing and ready and always down to outwork the work.